Hello everyone, my name is Soumya Parekh and the topic for my subject enrichment activity is tissues. So, when we hear the term tissues, what is the first question that comes in our mind? It is, what is a tissue? So, tissues are a group of similar cells that work to perform a specific function. This term tissue was coined by Bichat in 1792. Now you all must be wondering who was Bichat. So Marie Francois Xavier Bichat, he was a French anatomist and pathologist born on 14 November 1772, and he was also known as the father of modern histology. Although he worked without a microscope, but Bichat distinguished 21 types of elementary tissues from which the organs of the human body are composed. He was also the first one to propose that tissues is a central element in human anatomy. He died on 22 July 1802 with a jaundice fever. So, plant tissues are basically classified into two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are further classified into apical, lateral and intercalary, whereas permanent tissues are classified into simple and complex. Simple are further classified into parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Complex tissues are classified into xylem and phloem. So what is a meristematic tissues? Meristematic tissues, they have an undifferentiated cells which form the building blocks of a specialized plant structure. And meristematic tissues, they have living cells and have varied shapes. So where are they located? Meristematic tissues are located on the tips of roots, stems and branches. So what are their functions? They are responsible for the growth of plants. They act as the parent tissue, helps in the reproduction of new leaves and replaces the injured cell. So the difference between meristematic and permanent tissue are given below. Meristematic tissue, these cells divide repeatedly, whereas in permanent tissue they do not divide. Cells are undifferentiated and cells are fully differentiated. Intercellular spaces are absent and intercellular spaces are present. Vacuoles are absent, vacuoles are present. Cell walls are thin. Cell walls may be thick or thin. Inorganic inclusions are absent, whereas inorganic inclusions are present. Next is simple permanent tissue, and that will be describing parenchyma tissue. So parenchyma are living cells. They have a thin cell wall because of no deposition. They have an isometric shape, that is long, round and polygonal shape. They have a large central vacuole. So what are their functions? They are also a food storage tissue and some of them contain chlorophyll. Next is collenchyma. They are living cells and they have a deposition of extracellulose and pectin at the corner of the cells, have elongated and pointed shape and have intercellular spaces. So this is the diagram of collenchyma. Next is sclerenchyma tissue. So sclerenchyma tissue occurs in the stems around vascular bundles and in veins of leaves and hard covering of seeds or nuts. Here cells are divided and devoid of protoplasm. Walls are thickened with lignin. Intercellular spaces are absent and they are long and narrow. Next is their function. So it provides protection and strength and it is a chief mechanical tissue of the plant. Next is complex permanent tissue and we'll be describing xylem. So what are the components of xylem? That is vessel, which is very important but is dead. Tracheids, which are also dead. Xylem sclerenchyma fiber, which is also dead, and there's only one living component, that is xylem parenchyma. So what is its functions? They transport water, mineral salts from roots to shoot, and they have lignified cell walls of vessels, tracheids and xylem fibers which give it a mechanical support. Next is phloem. So they are cylindrical tube-like structures composed of elongated thin-walled cells. So end walls are perforated and cytoplasm of one seed element is connected to other. And the phloem fibers, they are thick-walled, spindle-shaped dead cells which provide mechanical support. So this is the diagram of phloem. Next is the differentiation between the xylem and phloem. Thank you. This was the only presentation that I could make. I hope you like it.